In the meantime, I would let you have the comic duo, that is Ruth and Andrea.
Thank you, Martin. Wait for me. Honestly, I am more mobile than this usually. It's just the pressure. Okay. Well, after such an introduction, I can hardly wait to hear what we're going to say. So we are delighted to be asked back to this august stage, this august company. Actually, it's July. Jesus, that's terrible, isn't it? So we are really thrilled to be here in York because, in fact, although Ruth and I have been, most of the places around the country, we haven't actually been to York before. So it's a new experience for us.
Yeah, a bit disgraceful really, but there we are. And I don't know about you, but when you're going somewhere new, if you're like us, you like to find out a bit about the place before you go. You like to find out, well, what should I do? What should I eat? And in fact, we did actually have a word with Martin, and we said to him, look, Martin, what should we wear? And he said, it'll be above 15 degrees, so we'll all be wearing our bikinis. So that's when we knew we really were coming to a foreign place.
That's right. So we thought that we really needed to get some sort of insight into where we were coming, this unique kingdom of Yorkshire. And so I asked Martin if he had some advice for us, and he said, and I wrote it down because you won't believe it. I'll tell thee what, lass. Take a skeg at a gradely guide your barn pot. I mean, I know Martin's quite a wise man, but I have no idea whether that was wise because I don't know what he said. So we're still trying to work it out. So in the meantime, we went and bought ourselves, a guidebook, which told us most of what we needed to know.
But it was when we were travelling up on the train, we actually had the opportunity to find out a little bit more about Yorkshire, because as it happened, we ended up sitting next to a Yorkshire man. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did we know he was a Yorkshireman? Well, that was because as soon as we said hello, he said,
I'm from Yorkshire.
And he sounded really pleased about it.
Yes.
But because we don't actually speak the same language, the conversation got a little bit awkward. So we thought, how can we pass the time? Oh, I know. Let's have a game of I Spy.
I'll tell you what, I'll kick us off. I spy with my little eye, summer beginning with T.
T, something beginning with T. We're on the train. Train.
No.
Telephone.
No.
Table.
No.
Oh, I don't know. We give up. What is it?
It's to window, isn't it?
To window?
Aye.
It's not window, it's just window. Window begins with a W.
Oh, not in Yorkshire, love.
So we decided that it probably wasn't worth arguing with him about this, and we'll let it go, because we don't want to hold a grudge, So, in fact, Andrea and I then spent the rest of the journey looking at our guidebook.
And it turns out, we didn't realise this, but York is one of the most haunted cities in the world. People are nodding. They've obviously heard what we're about to tell you. Shocking stuff, really. And in fact, there was a really spooky story about this very place, about York Racecourse, which was rather perturbing on the train coming up, I have to say. So.
Yeah, but we feel that we really should tell you this story because one of the main stories that was in the guidebook was actually something that happened right here, in this race course.
Hang on. Do you know, deja vu is a sign that there are ghosts around. If you see any deja vu, you make sure you shout out Yorkshire panto style. Anyway, carry on. You're doing really well.
But we don't want to frighten you too much, you know, because obviously it's going to get dark later and there may be some strange things going on. So, do we have your permission to scare the right flipping pants off you? Yes. Now, you're not going to believe this, but this story that was in the guidebook, it actually was about one of Martin's old relatives. This was the tale of young Marvick Sharp. He was called Marvick the Red on account of his bright red hair. That was until the night of this very race course when Marvick Sharp's hair turned as white as the driven snow overnight. Now, Marvick, he was a fine racehorse rider, and he was a man in his prime. You know, this was a guy that was really heading for being an absolute champion. And on this particular night, he headed to the race course to have a little bit of extra practice. His aim was to get as fast as he could, get up as much speed as he could. And so, without even a backward glance, he leapt athletically onto his horse, and off he set, gallopy, gallopy, gallopy. And within seconds, he picked up speed, gallopy, gallopy, gallopy. And then all of a sudden, behind him, he heard this terrible scream. And he turned in his saddle, and behind him, following at a great pace, was this man with a face as red as blood dripping from a vampire's fangs. And he was screaming this blood-curdling scream. Oh, Marvick, he didn't know what to do. He just absolutely froze. And before he knew it, the rider had come tearing past him, gallopy, 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 rushing past, and this hideous scream filled the night air. Oh, Marvick was absolutely terrified. You could tell he was really rattled, because he went, that'll do. Now, before he knew it, he couldn't believe his eyes. But something, it was like there was a great magnetic force that was pulling him. Next thing he knew, he was charging forward at almost breakneck speed. He couldn't believe it. He was charging right past that terrible rider. And as he looked into the rider's face as he went by, he heard another scream. And this time he realized it was actually coming from his own lips. So he passed the rider. But within seconds, the rider was passing him. And he thought, oh my goodness. And then again, Marvick passed the rider. And Marvick was thinking, what's going on? I can't even believe it. It was like the rider was flying past him. Well, do you know what? Poor Marvick's horse had had enough by this point. And he just stood still, stock still, and he would not budge. And Marvick was just beginning to catch his breath again, when all of a sudden, the rider started coming back towards him. But what was really terrifying was that he was coming backwards. And Marvick was thinking, I've never seen anything like this. What sort of unearthly thing is this? And the rider charged backwards past him. And within seconds, he came back again, forwards, and then backwards, and then forwards. And eventually, he ground to a halt right next to Marvick on his horse, and Marvick's heart was really beating. He said, my heart's beating louder than Grimethorpe Colliery Brass Band. The rider dismounted from his horse, and he came towards Marvin, his breath coming in great gasps, and he pointed his terrible finger right at Marvick. And he spoke, you You've stopped at last! Thank God! My braces have been caught on your saddle all this time! So we do have a word of advice. If you're wearing braces, don't go anywhere near the stables tonight.
Based on a true story. Now, the question on everyone's lips, apart from, are you okay, Ruth? Have you had your medication? Is, who is Martin Sharp? If that is indeed his real name. Oh. Have you gone back? Oh, here we go. Well, we've got a sneaky peek. If that is his real... Deja vu. Oh, my God. This is like... Oh, it's got cold.
It's the ghosts, I'm telling you, it's haunted.
Oh, my God, no, I can't bear it. Okay, well, we have to do that until we want to have a fast forward through all the slides. But, okay, so... Well, the thing is that if you look up Martin Sharp in the dictionary, you find, well, you don't find anything really because it's a dictionary, and that would be highly irregular.
So we had to conduct our own research. So we collected some samples of DNA and we had them sent off.
Yeah, we can't tell you any more about that process, obviously, for legal reasons. But the results are in. We have the results from earlier today. And Ruth, I believe you have them.
I do, yes, I do. Well, this is awkward. I'm pleased to see that you're sitting down, Martin. It says here that you're 10% Yorkshire and 90% Lancashire. Oh, chuffing Nora.
Let me have a look. Look, there's something else here. It says here, please note, oh sorry, they're from Leeds, this company. Please note, not all gene pools are equal. Happen to Yorkshire genes dominant. So, on recount, you are Yorkshire, 100%. Oh, this is magic.
Well, I'll go to the foot of our stairs.
Ruth, you live in a bungalow.
I know, but I'm just practicing the language.
I know, it's addictive, isn't it? Well, we've uncovered some really interesting stories, which I'd love to be able to show you on our slides, but unless you're prepared to watch them at like 27 million miles an hour, then that's a bit tricky. But anyway, we are going to, we've still got access. Oh, we've got a slide technician. Oh, I love this. This is the cutting edge of public speaking. Just nods, okay. You weren't looking, stop looking. Woo! The ghosts are walking tonight. Okay. Okay, so that one, stop. Stop. Right, we have some facts about Martin for you. Martin, first and foremost, is a grafter. You know, his first proper job was in the media. And, you know, it revealed him as a natural entrepreneur and business brain. He had a product, a company vehicle, a territory, and he worked really hard, damn hard. And he was up at 6 every morning to work that territory when he was a paperboy delivering Leeds Weekly News. Well done, Martin.
You see, our Martin, he had the biggest round. His round was 550 houses. Now, I know he's a big lad now, but when he was 10, he only had little legs. So it used to take him 3 days to complete the round.
Bless. Okay. So now in this job, it was a very important job, not only for the kudos and the girls, you know, that he was attracting. Right? Yes. Anyway, he learnt some interesting stuff in this job because, of course, he was 10. He was sort of approaching puberty, and around this time in the newsagents, he was hanging around the magazine section for, you know, inordinately long periods of time as the Leeds Weekly News was being stuffed in the bags, and he found himself drawn to one particular shelf on the display, you know, exotic, unusual, fancy stuff. It was the BBC Computing magazine right there, and Martin loved this magazine, it's true. And in fact, Ken, the newsagent, and usually at this point he'll go, oh God, how's this story going to end? But no, it's fine, because Ken was a great bloke who wanted to encourage the paper boys and paper girls in his care as much as possible. He noticed this interest that Martin had, and he thought, well, I think I will give him a hand along the way. And so Ken decided to mentor Martin and used to teach him to program computer games on his computer in the newsagent after school.
And, you know, what are the chances of that you're working as a newspaper boy and the guy in charge of the shop is an IT specialist?
I know. Well, actually, he wasn't an IT specialist. It's just that, well, of course, Martin had to go to school for 6 hours a day, and so Ken was in the shop with the magazines, so he just read them before Martin came in. So he was always ahead, but just by a couple of editions. That's true. So, Helen, I'm nodding. Another fact is that Martin is... Oh, he's so fast, isn't he? 2, there we go. He is an all-rounder, our Martin, as we can see from the pictures. Martin spent his first years at work learning as much as he could. He would join a company, work in different departments, from sales to marketing, logistics to IT. And, you know, I mean, he saw a lot. He worked in different departments all the time. He saw lots and lots and lots of aspects of business.
Now, of course, in the old days, if you were constantly moving from job to job, well, what that meant was that you were unemployable.
Yeah, that's
But, of course, now we know that this is somebody who wants to learn about every aspect of a job. So what Martin was, in fact, was becoming a fantastic consultant.
That's right. Lovely. I'm nodding. The next fact about Martin is, oh no, there we go. He's inventive. Good old Martin. In the, I don't know if you know this, but Martin, I mean, it must be quite tedious to be Martin with all the awards that he's won. But when he was quite young, one of his first jobs at Salt End Power Station, Martin designed a brand new type of website, which was an award-winning website. Crucially, it was one of the first in the industry that was radioactive.
No, not radioactive, interactive.
Oh, yes. One of the first in the industry that was interactive. Jesus, Ruth, this is why I lost my job at British Nuclear Fuels. You know, I just never know the difference between the two. But you know, it's fine. It's fine.
But anyway, it was while he was working there that one of the directors had a friend that you may remember who was very famous around the 80s, Uri Geller. You know, the man that used to bend the spoons? He used to smooth the spoons and everyone would gasp while the spoons just bent.
And buckled, the metal buckled before their very eyes. Now, obviously, you couldn't let a character like Uri Geller into Salt End Power Station. Can you imagine? But the team did go to Uri Geller's house for dinner once for a team building exercise. And they had a lovely, lovely time. But Martin, he tells me, found it impossible to eat the soup. Uri Geller, surprisingly hard to stab. So that is the reason why, to this very day, Martin always carries a bamboo spork in his pocket. just for emergencies.
Never to be caught out.
Okay, I'm nodding. Helen. She's good, but...
So, fact number 4.
Oh, fact 4, yeah.
Our Martin, he's a doer.
He is.
Fail fast, that's his principle. His principle is that if you can get out there and do it, then learn it while you're doing it. Why wait around and get perfect at it?
It's like that quote from Edison about, you know, he had to find 10,000 ways to not invent the light bulb before he invented it. I paraphrase, you know, not being Edison. Martin is actually a true believer in failing fast. He's the failing fast Usain Bolton of the north of England. He's determined to get there. It's almost hypnotic watching him do it. You can't help but watch. It's, his commitment to failure is as impressive as it is indefensible, quite often. But yeah, all power.
Because he's super fast.
Yeah.
In fact, you know, you give him an idea and within 10 minutes, he'll be actually putting a plan of action in place. In fact, sometimes you don't even get to reach the end of it.
There we go, blog post appeared. Right, so that's not even the best bit. I'm not nodding, it's a trick one. I'm not. Oh dear, oh dear. No, not that one. Go back. Okay, so if you go to the Waxtie website, no word of a lie, you will find this quote on the website, and I wrote it down. I love computers, they're my friends. They are so simple, logical, and obedient.
And he looks so normal.
I know, what a geek. Anyway, so we know a little bit more about Martin now. We thought we'd look a little bit further into Waxtie. Waxtie. Okay, so name of company, Waxtie.
Description of company, God's own consultancy.
That's right. What they do, God only knows.
And their tagline is, "Up and it'll be reet."
Which, good philosophy. Now, Martin we know all about, of course, but who else is in the gang? So we've got Sarah Sharp there, director, woman of substance, and an admin ninja. I don't know if you've ever seen her at work, but boy, it's cool. She deals with the paperwork and then she frisbees it into all the files so it's all away. It's amazing. You're on YouTube, darling. And the reason that she's in the job is she came for an interview for the role of administrator, I think I'm right in saying, and ended up marrying Martin as part of, she says, one of the longest interview processes she's ever had. But one of the longest interview processes. Well, yeah, there we go, dedication.
And the other really important member of this team is our Helen Hall. Now, Helen, you could describe her, because she wears so many hats, you could describe her as the milliner of Waxtie. Anything technical, Helen's your girl. So she does the filming, she does the videos, she does all of the website stuff. She is just absolutely amazing. But there is something about Helen. You know, she's apparently very camera shy, so she doesn't like to be seen in front of the camera. So tonight, we thought we must put this right. So tonight, Helen Hall, this is your life.
Oh, of course, we wouldn't do that to you, Helen, because we don't know what you look like.
In fact, we have it on good authority that she moonlights as the Stig.
Yes, I suspect that is true. So there we have it, the Yorkshire triple threat. We've got the Adminja, we've got the Melinja, and we've got the Ginger. Lovely. So that's the team, and really they are a lean, mean consulting machine. How do they keep so fit, I hear you ask?
Well,
How do they keep so fit, I hear you ask? Yes.
how do they keep so fit?
Bloody ghosts. Okay, well, I hacked into the Waxtie calendar, and I was able to glean this information through normal industrial espionage type methods. 6 a.m, up with lark, time to think about going for a jog. 7 a.m, stop thinking about going for a jog and get to work.
8 a.m. Meet the others in the park for the Keep Fit session. You can choose between Waxtie boxing, Waxtie chi, and Waxtie kwando.
That's right. 9 a.m, twerk. Well, you make your own jokes up now. Rest at day, drink Yorkshire tea, eat Yorkshire pudding, help Yorkshire business. That'll do.
That'll do.
Yeah. So the time has come to address the issue of the balls. Because this is a technique that Martin is well used to. The balls. The balls. Which are here. Okay, so
See,
this is, what is the system that we're talking about here, Reed?
well, you know, I don't know if you're like us, but we were really curious. How did he come up with this name, Waxtie?
Yes.
Well, we did discover that he used a really important strategy in order to be able to do this.
It's a sort of brand name bingo, where you think of two completely unrelated words and you put them together on your company letterhead with no word of explanation at all, and then just put it out there for the world to see.
It's absolutely fail-safe. We can guarantee that this has been successful at least once.
Well, of course, there's wax tie.
Waxtie.
Oh, good. Nice.
Two completely separate words. Do you see, this is how Selfridges got started. We'll let you have a think about that one.
It's a burner. Now we're going to do this live right now just to show you how effective this can be. So we are rather
thanks to
taking
your-
our professional lives in our hands. But we've got your balls in this bucket, and we're going to pick them out. Anyone got any balls that they've not... Oh, bring us your balls. Yeah. So we're going to have a swirl in the brand tub. We want a good one. Thanking you. Right, so this is how brand name bingo works.
Exactly
So,
this. I'll tell you what, this is real strategy gold that we're giving you here.
yeah. So I've got one. You got one?
I'm going to try and pick yours now.
Oh, do you know this would make a fantastic name for drag artists? We've got Titivate.
Fandango.
Lovely. I love it. I love it. Okay.
See how perfect this system
We'll
is.
put this over here. Right. Okay, anyone else want to go? Judith, come and pick one. Come and get one of them lovely things. And John?
Happy drugs.
Oh, I don't know about that. And sometimes it helps to switch them round if it's a bit of a difficult message. So drugs happy would be, that could be an NHS
could rival
campaign,
Superdrug.
couldn't it? Yes. Right, anyone over here want to come and have a ball moment? Come on, we're having a ball. Have two. Right, someone else? There we go. Oh, nice. Juicy Boris. Oh. Now, isn't that just the right name for some sort of crusty old bit of cheese that you find down the back of the dresser after, some sort of local election? Right, just maybe a couple more. The lady here whose name I don't know, whoever you are, young lady, there we go.
It's the steak.
Okay, someone else who hasn't. Come on, sir. Come and have a rumble in the jungle. Right, what do we have now?
What have you got? Love. Oozing.
Oh, that's kind of appropriate, isn't it? Right, so I can see there are some quite rude words in here. I don't know how that could have happened. They all seem to be written in the same handwriting, don't they, Marion? Okay. Oh, and I've got one as well here. What do you have there? Both Marions. So you've got Titanic, and I've got arse. Chance to be a fine.
Except that in positioning this on the ball, we've got Titanic.
You went a bit overboard with the finger spaces on that one, darling. Okay, right, well, you see how easy this is? Now, when you put it in this sort of context, can you see what a genius name Waxtie is and how it was arrived at?
Yes, I mean, this system, honestly, it is so useful. Not only can you use it to name your company, you could use it to name your products. You could even use it to name your children.
Oh, that reminds me, yes. Martin and Sarah, of course, used it when they were naming their youngest, didn't they? So let's have a big hand for Fuzzy Lampshade. Yes. Hello. Where are you? Thank you very much. Okay, so there we have valuable branding knowledge there. This is our gift to you. Obviously, feel free to use this technique as you will. Yes, and anyone who wrote cock in there is just asking for trouble. Right.
So now, Martin, obviously, we're very proud of all that he has achieved.
Sorry, we should have said the reason for doing this isn't just to, to have some fun. God knows. But this is going to be a resource in the Business Hat Stand book. We're going to print all of the words that are here in the book, and people will be able to pick and choose and combine them. You too, I mean, if you get stuck for a name, for anything.
Well, you'll never be stuck again.
No,
now,
exactly.
Will you? Never again.
Yes, okay, fine. We might have to just have a little sift.
We might do a bit of editing.
Yes, anyway, right.
Now, of course, Martin, we're really proud of all that he has achieved.
Yes.
And, you may realise, of course, that if you are going to be successful in business, you need a really wide range of skills. Would you agree that to be successful in business, you need a wide range of skills? And of course, our Martin is a great demonstration of that.
That's true. And in fact, one of the key skills that he's been developing excellently over the last few years is his ability to
express himself.
Yes, in public. Nice. I mean, I'm not talking about that incident that appeared on the front page of the Barnsley Evening Post. Not that. I'm talking about public speaking, at which he is a giant. A giant,
yes,
it's true.
I'm sure you've noticed he is a really accomplished public speaker. And in fact, he has spoken alongside some of the absolute greats, like Wayne Dyer, Steve Covey, Liberace, Mother Teresa.
Ruth, aren't all these people dead?
They are. Public speaking is a very dangerous profession.
Okay, so of course public speaking now holds no fear for a big lad like Martin. He's right cosmopolitan. I mean, he's been to Leeds, apparently. But many other soft southern people quake in their boots at night at the thought of standing here on a stage and speaking. 7 out of 10 people are reported to be afraid of the task of public speaking. And I say to those people, come up here and say that. Do they? No, they don't. Yeah.
So we have really looked into this world where there's the fear of public speaking. And with extensive research, we have come up with a plan that will help you if you are feeling anxious and fearful about stepping up onto the stage.
That's right. So when we explain this to you, please make sure you're taking careful notes, because this could be a lifesaver for you if you're ever asked to say something in public.
Now you've all got little pads in your goodie bags, so get a nice clean page, and down the left-hand side of one of those pages, I want you to write 3 letter P's, one underneath the other. So go ahead and do that right now. Now the first of these P's, this one, you must make sure that when you step onto a stage, we're unprotected here, you must make sure that there is a lectern, because the first P is protect. You can hide behind that lectern if the huge audience starts mobbing you.
That's right, and they make lecterns now that just clip over your shoulders, so you can wear them all evening, have fun with it. Play with it, girl. Oh, sorry, no, it came over there. The second P in the system is for when you just need to get away and really confusion is going to be your friend. And this stage is called perplex. And the way we perplex people, well, one of the ways that that we perplex people is we always carry with us, when we're going on public speaking engagements, in a pocket we'll have a little set of white cards, and if it looks like the crowd's turning ugly, then we will take them out and we'll go, look, vouchers for free iPhones, and then we'll shower them over the stage and run in the other direction. It's a technique called scatter and scarper.
Very effective, very
good,
effective.
Very good.
And the third P, this one is called poleaxe. And this is where your clicker can really come into good use, because your clicker, if you're careful with the clicker that you buy, you will have a laser light at the end of it. So you can then dazzle and blind any members of the audience who try to come anywhere near to you.
So I'm sure you can see how with all this arsenal at your disposal, arsenal, is that in there? Yeah, arsenal's in there, yeah, of course it is. With all this arsenal at your disposal, then you will have no fear about standing on a stage and speaking in public. There is a fourth P, of course, which only top end of professional speakers will be aware of. And also, if you have invested in our professional speaker odorless nappy pack.
And by the way, if you are really serious about this craft, then we can give you the link to the website later.
That's right.
And don't worry, because it all comes in very discreet brown paper packaging. No one will know. You can thank us for this gem later.
That's right. I mean, the company's tagline, I should just say, is poo with discretion in the speaking profession. So I think it's good news for all of us in that industry. So, as you can see, well, Martin is, he's very into self-development and into the power of the mind. Don't you agree? People who know Martin? Anyone know Martin? Anyone know Martin? Yes. Okay, good. One person knows Martin. So he's very interested in the power of the mind. Now, as Martin will tell you, the mind is a wonderful, wonderful organ. Yes, I see it there. It's fine. And the brain starts working as soon as you're born, and then it only stops the moment you stand in front of a microphone on the stage.
So you see, when you see Martin standing up here on the stage, effortless and elegant, and he makes it look so easy, but it hasn't always been that way.
No, we should explain. Martin may have mentioned to you that he's from Yorkshire. And here's the thing, Yorkshire folk, I'm led to believe, are never afraid to voice their opinions on things. And when a Yorkshireman has an opinion on something, he will jolly well let you hear it He likes what he says, and he'll say what he just well likes.
But there is a problem, because whenever a Yorkshireman steps up onto a stage, he completely clams up. And that's because all the way through from his childhood, he has been conditioned to say out.
You see, we noticed that the Yorkshire people in the public speaking trainings that we were running, they were really chatty all the way, across the room and with the groups and the tables, all the way over to the steps, up the front, very chatty. But then, my God, they would see the mic and they'd just freeze.
It was like, say out, lad, say out, about out.
Yeah, and that's going to leave any 60-minute speaking engagement a little bit awkward. So we thought that this condition was selling Yorkshire short. After all, this is the kingdom where God comes on holiday. Why shouldn't the Yorkshire folk be proud to stand up and say summit?
Yeah, and I mean, compare this to the Lancashire people, where they're always going on about Lancashire this and Lancashire that. And what have they got? Red roses and hot pot.
Yeah, also, Lancashire is the home to the tubular bandage.
Oh, well,
I discovered this week. There we go. Who says we don't do our research? So now you get a sense of the real dilemma that was facing Martin. And you might be asking, how did he resolve this?
Yes, and you may also be asking, how can you redress this balance? Because wouldn't you agree that this now is crying out for a bespoke speaker training programme specifically designed for Yorkshire people?
Well, you are in luck tonight. Ready? No! Oh, jeez. Both Ruth and I have been we have been looking into this for at least the afternoon, and we have devised a special Yorkshire public speaking training programme entitled "Hey Up and Out It Comes."
And tonight we're going to share this with you. We're going to share with you the exact training that we took Martin through that has got him up here on this stage.
The premise of this is very simple. It shows you how to bring your A game into business by promoting your UP, your UP, your unique proposition, to the audience, all by relying on the natural gifts and talents of the Yorkshireness within you.
And this system works,
Yeah.
Because we've tested it extensively on Martin.
When he got up on the stage originally, he was ever so quiet. So we used the gradual process. It's an acclimatisation system. First we got him up to the microphone, just repeating easy phrases. I'm from Yorkshire, just like that, just to get him normalised to the idea of speaking on a stage. So picture him now, walking up to the mic, clutching it, white knuckles showing, and just repeating, I'm from Yorkshire, over and over again, and over again, and over again.
And then we had to up his game.
Yeah.
So then we thought, right, now what you need are a few expressions, phrases with which again you're very familiar. The kind of thing that Martin would be using at home with the kids. So we had him there going, how much? You'd better take your coat off or you'll not feel the benefit. Here, switch big light off. It's like Blackpool illuminations in here.
And now, this training has enabled Martin to be as natural and confident and carefree as he is on stage. And we're very proud of the progress he's made. It's amazing. And you can achieve this sort of result too. It is possible.
Mind you, we do have to say it wasn't all plain sailing. Do you remember that time when we said to him, what's so special about coming from Yorkshire? He didn't speak at all for 3 months.
Genuinely shocking. So anyway, we will teach you with A up and out it comes to turn your nout into out, get you over your natural Yorkshire shyness.
So bringing up your A game means focusing on quality. So we take you through the 3C challenge. So the first challenge, level 1, you are champion. Level 2,
Championer.
level 3.
Championist. Very good. Yes, ever moving upwards. So as the evening progresses, we invite you to come up the stage. You know, you come and have fun, play a little. Come up here and look out to see the people in the auditorium. See what it's like to be a speaker. Start easy. Go, I'm from Yorkshire, or I'm not from Yorkshire, whatever you want. And then move on to other familiar phrases until you too feel the fire in your belly that Martin Sharp has every day of the week when he stands on a stage to say, I'm Yorkshire and I'm proud. That's living the dream. It is indeed. Now, that's the end of our training tonight. I hope you're going to appreciate the system for and out it comes.
Again, gold dust, absolute gold dust.
Yes. But we've come to the end of our presentation, and so we have got nothing left to do here except to thank you for being such an appreciative audience, and except to thank you for being such an appreciative audience.
Yeah, you see, you know, we do feel we should say we may have been a little bit cheeky about Yorkshire people during our presentation. So by way of apology, we'd just like to say, I've got nothing.
Okay, well, fair enough. Okay. So there we go. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. It's been unreal.
And here on the channel, we're looking at how we can share a whole variety of tips, hints, sound bites, and extras of things that we have found we use on a weekly, daily, even hourly basis. So click the subscribe button now so you don't miss out.